Have you ever felt drained after being around someone, even if they said nothing wrong on the surface? Have you ever walked away from a conversation feeling smaller, heavier, or quietly unsettled, without fully understanding why? There are people in this world who do not shout, do not attack, do not openly harm, and yet their presence disturbs your peace. And the question is not just why they affect you, but why you keep allowing it. In Buddhist wisdom, suffering does not come only from others. It comes from attachment, from expectation, from the inability to let go. So today, we begin a different path. A path of clarity, of emotional freedom, of inner peace. Here are 6 lessons to help you detach from toxic people without losing your compassion and without losing yourself. Lesson 1. Not everyone deserves access to your inner world. There is a quiet misunderstanding many people carry through life. The belief that being kind means being open to everyone, that being a good person means listening endlessly, tolerating endlessly, giving endlessly, even when it slowly exhausts you. But in truth, this is not kindness. This is self-abandonment. In Buddhist teaching, awareness begins with understanding where your energy flows, because your attention, your time, your emotional openness, these are not small things. They are your life. So when you allow someone into your inner world, you are not just having a conversation. You are giving them influence over your thoughts, your emotions, your sense of peace, and not everyone carries that responsibility with care. Some people project their chaos, their negativity, their unresolved pain, not because they are evil, but because they are unconscious. And if you are not aware, you begin to carry what was never yours. You start your day calm, but after one interaction, your mind becomes restless, your mood shifts, your peace disappears. Not because you are weak, but because you are open, and openness without awareness becomes vulnerability to the wrong energies. So this morning, before you step into the world, pause and ask yourself gently, who truly deserves access to my inner space today? Not everyone needs to hear your thoughts. Not everyone needs to feel your energy. Not everyone needs to be let in. This is not about rejection. This is about clarity. You can still be respectful. You can still be kind without allowing someone to enter your emotional center. Sometimes detachment looks like silence. Sometimes it looks like distance. Sometimes it simply means not engaging. And that is enough, because peace is not maintained by controlling others. It is maintained by protecting your inner world. So remind yourself quietly, I choose who enters my mind. I choose what I carry, and today I will not carry what is not mine. Lesson 2. You cannot heal someone who does not want to change. There is a deep pain that comes from trying to help someone and realizing they do not want to be helped. You see their patterns, you understand their struggles, you recognize their behavior, and a part of you believes, if I just say the right thing, if I just stay patient, if I just give a little more, they will change. But this belief, while it may come from compassion, often becomes a quiet trap, because not all suffering is ready to be released. In Buddhism, there is a simple but powerful truth. Awareness cannot be forced. A person must see their own behavior, must recognize their own patterns, must choose their own path. And until they do, no amount of your effort, your love, your patience will transform them. Instead, you slowly become drained. You repeat the same conversations. You offer the same support. You carry the same emotional weight, hoping this time will be different. but it rarely is. And the hardest part is not their behavior. It is the hope you continue to hold, the expectation that something will change when nothing has changed. So today, allow yourself to release this burden. You are not responsible for fixing someone. You are not responsible for saving them. And most importantly, you are not responsible for staying in a situation that harms your peace. Compassion does not mean sacrifice without limit. True compassion includes yourself. It recognizes when to step back, when to create distance, when to let someone walk their path, even if that path is difficult. This does not make you cold, it makes you aware. Because sometimes the most loving thing you can do is to stop interfering and allow life to teach what you cannot. So take a breath and remind yourself gently, I can care without carrying, I can love without losing myself, and I release the need to change what is not ready to change. Lesson 3. Detachment is not rejection, it is self-respect. There is a quiet guilt that often appears when you begin to distance yourself from someone. A soft voice inside that whispers, am I being too harsh? Am I abandoning them? Am I becoming cold? And because of this guilt, many people stay longer than they should. They tolerate more than they should. They silence their own discomfort just to avoid the feeling of being the one who left. But in Buddhist understanding, detachment is not an act of rejection. It is an act of clarity. It is the moment you recognize that holding on is causing more harm than letting go. Detachment does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop clinging. There is a difference. Clinging says, I need this person to behave differently so I can feel at peace. Detachment says, I accept who they are and I choose what is right for me. One comes from dependency, the other from awareness. When you are attached, your emotional state becomes tied to their actions. If they are kind, you feel calm. If they are distant, you feel anxious. If they are negative, you feel drained. Your peace becomes unstable, constantly shifting based on someone else's behavior. But when you practice detachment, you gently loosen that connection. You begin to observe instead of absorb. You listen without taking everything personally. You see without reacting to every detail you feel, without losing yourself in it. This is not indifference, this is balance. Imagine standing near the ocean. When you are attached, every wave pulls you in. Every movement affects you. You struggle to stay grounded. But when you are detached, you stand firmly on the shore. You still see the waves. You still hear them. You still understand their power, but they do not control you. This is what emotional freedom feels like. And yes, sometimes detachment creates distance. Sometimes it leads to fewer conversations, less involvement, less emotional sharing. But that distance is not punishment, it is protection. Because when someone repeatedly brings chaos into your life, remaining deeply connected to them means remaining connected to that chaos. And over time, that chaos becomes your normal. You stop questioning it. You start adapting to it until one day you forget what peace even feels like. So detachment becomes your return to stillness, your return to clarity, your return to yourself. You are not pushing someone away, you are stepping back into your own space, and in that space, you can finally breathe. So this morning, if there is someone in your life whose presence constantly disturbs your peace, do not ask, how do I fix them? Ask instead, how do I honor myself? Because self-respect is not loud, It does not argue. It does not prove, it simply chooses. And sometimes the most powerful choice you can make is to step back quietly, without anger, without explanation, without guilt, and trust that protecting your peace is not wrong. It is necessary. Lesson 4. What you tolerate, you teach others how to treat you. There is something subtle, yet deeply powerful, happening in every relationship. You have something that often goes unnoticed. You are constantly teaching people how to treat you, not through words, but through what you allow, through what you ignore, through what you accept, through what you silently endure. Every time someone crosses a boundary and you say nothing, every time someone speaks to you with disrespect and you dismiss it, every time someone drains your energy and you continue to engage, you are sending a quiet message. This is okay. Not because you believe it is okay, but because your silence becomes permission. In Buddhist awareness, suffering is often maintained not by what others do, but by what we continue to allow. This is where detachment becomes wisdom. Because detachment is not only about leaving, it is also about seeing clearly, seeing patterns, seeing behaviors, seeing the impact they have on your mind. And once you see clearly, you cannot unsee. You begin to notice how certain people only come to you when they need something, how some conversations always leave you feeling heavy, how certain interactions slowly erode your sense of calm, and in that awareness, a choice appears. You can continue the pattern, or you can interrupt it. Interrupting does not require confrontation. It does not require conflict. Sometimes it simply requires change. You respond less. You engage less. You stop explaining yourself endlessly. You create space. And in that space, something important happens. People begin to feel the shift. They may not understand it immediately, but they sense it. Because your energy is no longer as available, your attention is no longer as easy to access. And slowly, the dynamic changes. Some people will adjust. They will meet your new boundaries. They will respect your space, but others will resist. They may question you. They may react negatively. They may try to pull you back into old patterns. And this is where your awareness is tested, because it is easy to maintain boundaries when others accept them. But true growth happens when they do not. So when someone reacts to your change, pause, take a breath, and remind yourself, their reaction is not your responsibility. You are not here to maintain their comfort at the cost of your peace, because peace cannot grow in a space where your boundaries are constantly ignored. And boundaries do not need to be loud. They do not need to be explained repeatedly. They are expressed through action, through consistency, through the quiet decision to no longer participate in what harms you. So today, be mindful of what you tolerate. Notice the small moments, the tone of a conversation, the way someone speaks to you, the way you feel after interacting, and instead of ignoring it, honor it, because your feelings are not random, they are signals, and when you listen to them, you begin to reshape your environment, not by controlling others, but by changing your response. So remind yourself gently, I teach people how to treat me through what I allow, and today, I choose to allow only what aligns with my peace. Lesson 5. Let go of the need for their approval. There is a quiet attachment that keeps many people connected to toxic relationships, and it is not always obvious. It is not love. It is not loyalty. It is not even fear of being alone. It is the need for approval, the need to be understood, to be validated, to be seen in a certain way. You may not say it out loud, but somewhere inside, there is a hope. If they finally appreciate me, if they finally acknowledge my effort, if they finally treat me the way I deserve, then everything will feel right. Then the pain will make sense. But this hope is what keeps you attached. Because instead of seeing the person clearly, you are waiting for a version of them that may never exist. In Buddhist teaching, this is called attachment to expectation. The mind creates an image, a possibility, a future that feels just within reach, and then clings to it. Even when reality shows you something different again and again, you hold on, not to who they are, but to who you wish they would become. And this creates suffering, not because of their behavior, but because of the gap between what is and what you want it to be. Every time they disappoint you, it is not just the moment that hurts. It is the collapse of that expectation again and again. So detachment begins here, not by rejecting them, but by releasing the need for them to confirm your worth. Because your worth was never meant to be decided by someone who cannot even see you clearly. If someone is inconsistent, their approval will be inconsistent. If someone lacks awareness, their validation will be shallow. If someone is disconnected from themselves, they cannot truly connect with you. And yet, you may find yourself trying harder, explaining more, giving more, proving more, hoping that eventually they will see what you see. But the truth is, the more you seek approval, the more you give your power away. Your emotional state becomes dependent on their reactions, their words, their attention, and slowly you begin to lose your center. You start questioning yourself. Maybe I'm too sensitive. Maybe I'm asking for too much. Maybe I need to change. Not because it is true, but because you are trying to fit into someone else's limited perception. So this morning, pause and gently ask yourself, why do I need their approval? What am I hoping to feel through them that I am not giving myself? Because often, what you are truly seeking is not their validation, but your own. You want to feel enough. You want to feel seen. You want to feel valued. And instead of turning inward, you keep reaching outward towards someone who cannot provide it. So the practice becomes simple, but not easy. You begin to bring that validation back to yourself. When your mind seeks their approval, pause and replace it with awareness. I see myself. I value myself. I do not need to be approved to be worthy. At first, this may feel unfamiliar, even uncomfortable, because you are breaking a pattern, a habit of seeking outside what must be built inside. But slowly, something begins to shift. You stop over-explaining. You stop over-giving. You stop chasing reactions. And in that stillness, you begin to feel lighter, because you are no longer waiting, no longer hoping, no longer depending. You are simply being. And this is where true detachment emerges, not from distance alone, but from independence. Emotional independence. The ability to stand in your own worth without needing it reflected back to you. So when someone fails to appreciate you, you no longer collapse. When someone misunderstands you, you no longer chase clarification endlessly. When someone withholds validation, you no longer feel incomplete, because you are no longer asking them to define you. And from this place, your relationships change, not because others suddenly transform, but because your attachment dissolves. You can still interact, you can still care, You can still be present, but there is no longer a hidden need, no silent expectation, no emotional dependency, and that freedom is peace. So remind yourself gently, I release the need for their approval. I am already enough as I am. And in that quiet recognition, you take back your power, not by changing them, but by no longer needing them to complete what was already whole within you. Lesson 6. Sometimes peace requires letting go completely. There is a truth that many people resist, not because they do not understand it, but because they feel it deeply and it asks something difficult of them. Sometimes peace does not come from better communication. It does not come from more patience. It does not come from explaining yourself one more time or hoping that things will finally change. Sometimes peace comes from letting go, completely, not temporarily, not in a way where you are still emotionally holding on, still checking, still waiting for a different outcome, but fully. And this is where detachment reaches its deepest and most honest form. Because letting go is not just about losing someone, it is about releasing everything you built around them. The emotional attachment, the expectations, the habits of thinking about them, the role you played in their life, and the version of yourself you became in that connection. This is why it feels so heavy. You are not just letting go of a person, you are letting go of a part of your life, a part of your identity, a part of your emotional world that once felt familiar, even if it was painful. And the mind resists this. It creates reasons to stay. It replays moments that make you doubt your decision. It says, maybe it will get better. Maybe they didn't mean it. Maybe I should give it more time. Maybe this time will be different. But these thoughts are not clarity. They are attachment trying to survive. Because deep inside, beneath the noise of doubt and emotion, there is another voice. A voice that does not argue or justify. A voice that simply knows. It knows that staying is costing you your peace. It knows that nothing truly new is happening, only the same patterns repeating in different forms. In Buddhist wisdom, this moment is called awakening. Not awakening to the world, but awakening to truth. Seeing clearly without distortion, without wishful thinking, without emotional attachment shaping your perception. Seeing things as they are. And when you truly see clearly, holding on becomes more painful than letting go. Because every interaction, every repeated pattern, every moment of discomfort confirms what your deeper awareness already understands. That this connection is no longer aligned with your peace. But even then, letting go requires courage, because the familiar, even when it hurts, can feel safer than the unknown. You know their behavior, you know their patterns, you know the cycle. Even if the cycle brings disappointment, at least it is predictable. Letting go means stepping into uncertainty, into silence, into space where that person is no longer present in your daily life. And at first, that space can feel empty. But what you do not see yet is that this emptiness is not loss, it is openness. It is space that was once filled with tension, overthinking, and emotional weight. And now that space is free. Free for your mind to rest. Free for your body to relax. Free for your awareness to return to itself. Because when you are constantly connected to toxic energy, your mind becomes reactive. Your body holds tension, your emotions stay unsettled even when nothing is happening. You begin to live in a constant state of quiet stress. But when you step away, slowly and consistently, something begins to change. Your thoughts become quieter, your breath becomes deeper, your emotions stabilize, not instantly but gradually, like a storm passing, leaving behind stillness. And in that stillness you begin to remember something important. You remember who you are without them. You remember what calm feels like, what clarity feels like, what it means to exist without emotional tension constantly pulling at you. And that realization becomes your confirmation. Letting go was not loss, it was liberation. This does not mean you stop caring. It does not mean the memories vanish overnight. It simply means you stop choosing what hurts you again and again. And sometimes the most compassionate thing you can do for yourself and even for the other person is to step away completely. Because distance creates truth. It removes constant interaction. It removes emotional confusion. It allows reality to be seen clearly without interference. And in that clarity, both of you are given space. Space to grow, space to reflect, space to walk your own path. So if you are standing at that point where you feel the weight of knowing, but also the fear of letting go, pause, take a slow breath and listen inward. Not to the noise of doubt, but to the quiet truth within you. Because your peace is not found in holding on to what continuously breaks you, it is found in the courage to release it fully, without hesitation, without returning to the same cycle. So remind yourself gently, I am allowed to let go, even if it is difficult, even if it is painful. Because I choose peace over attachment. And in that choice, you return to yourself, fully, calmly, and finally free. How to apply these 6 lessons in your daily life. Understanding these lessons is one thing, living them is another. So begin simply. Tomorrow morning before you reach for your phone, sit in silence for a moment and bring these truths to mind. Not all at once, just one. Let it settle. Then, as you move through your day, practice awareness in small moments. Notice how certain people make you feel, not just what they say, but what happens inside you, your energy, your breath, your thoughts. When you feel tension, pause. Take one conscious breath and choose your response. Instead of reacting automatically, create space. This is where detachment begins. Start setting small boundaries. You do not need to explain everything. You do not need to justify your distance. Sometimes, less engagement is enough. And at the end of the day, reflect gently. Where did I protect my peace? Where did I lose it? Not with judgment, but with awareness, because awareness creates change. And slowly, these lessons will stop being ideas. They will become habits. Then habits become your nature. And one day, you will notice what once disturbed you no longer has power over you. If this message resonated with you, take a moment to sit with it and carry one lesson into your day. Peace is not something you find, it is something you choose, again and again. If you want more calm, clarity, and inner strength, subscribe to Mindfulness and continue this journey with us, because the more you return to yourself, the less anything outside you can take your peace away.